Most people think cheese is just cheese, harmless, delicious, and maybe a little indulgent. But what if I told you that some of the most popular cheeses sitting in your fridge right now could be quietly shaving years off your life? It sounds dramatic, but this isn't just speculation. It's backed by cold, hard science. Studies show that certain cheeses can skyrocket your stroke risk by 80%, while others might literally help you avoid heart disease, strengthen your bones, and even calm your mind. The wild part? Over 85% of adults over 60 eat cheese at least twice a week, but nearly all of them are making the same deadly mistake in the grocery store. One wrong cheese, one slice too many, and your body starts working against you instead of for you. But here's the good news. The fix is incredibly simple. You don't need to quit cheese forever. You just need to know which 4 cheeses to toss out, and which 4 could actually help you live longer, feel better, and protect your future. And the most dangerous one? Chances are, you've already eaten it this week. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. Most people walk right past aged Gouda without a second glance. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, and it doesn't scream superfood. But make no mistake, aged Gouda is one of the most powerful, underrated weapons you can have in your health arsenal. Here's why. When Gouda ages for at least 18 months, it goes through a complete transformation at the molecular level. The long aging process breaks down its proteins into tiny, bioavailable peptides, which your aging digestive system can actually absorb without a fight. That means your body gets more out of every bite, without the bloating or heaviness that comes with younger cheeses. But the real magic? It's called vitamin K2, a nutrient almost no one talks about, but it may be the difference between clogged arteries and clear, flowing blood vessels. Aged Gouda is one of the richest natural sources of it. Think of K2 as your body's traffic cop for calcium. Instead of letting calcium build up in your arteries where it forms deadly plaque, K2 redirects it straight to your bones where it belongs. In fact, studies out of Japan show that people with high K2 intake had up to 50% less arterial calcification and significantly stronger bones. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. And there's more. Aged Gouda also delivers CLA, a unique fatty acid linked to fat loss, immune support, and even anti-cancer effects. It's naturally low in lactose too, making it safe for many who typically can't handle dairy. The beneficial bacteria formed during the aging process even produce postbiotics, compounds that nourish your gut, fight inflammation, and may even influence your mood through the gut-brain connection. If you're over 60, just a 1-ounce slice of aged Gouda could quietly support your bones, heart, and gut all at once, with no prescriptions required. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about the 900-year-old Italian secret that works like an edible multivitamin. You've probably seen Parmesan on shelves everywhere, grated in cans, sprinkled on pasta, maybe even sitting in your fridge right now. But here's the truth. Unless it says Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy, it's not the real deal. And it's definitely not doing your body any favors. Real Parmesan, the kind aged up to 32 months in the hills of northern Italy, is basically an edible multivitamin wrapped in centuries of tradition. We're talking about a cheese that delivers 10 grams of protein in a single ounce, with calcium levels that actually blow milk out of the water. But here's what makes it different and dangerous to ignore. Unlike most high-protein foods, the aging process in Parmigiano Reggiano breaks those proteins down so completely they're pre-digested. That means your body doesn't have to work overtime to access the amino acids. They're ready and waiting, which is critical as your metabolism slows with age. Even more impressive, the calcium is nearly 100% bioavailable, thanks to the perfect ratio of phosphorus and magnesium. Compare that to calcium supplements, which only absorb about 30%, and it's not even a contest. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. But this cheese doesn't just fuel your bones, it fuels your brain. Parmigiano contains tyrosine, the precursor to dopamine and norepinephrine, two neurotransmitters responsible for focus, drive, and emotional resilience. It's also packed with casomorphins, natural compounds that help reduce anxiety and promote restful sleep. Italians have been using this cheese for generations, not just to flavor food, but to support total body wellness. And despite being a dairy product, it's naturally lactose-free after aging and loaded with beneficial bacteria that survive your stomach acid to reach your gut, strengthening immunity and balancing digestion. It's no wonder this cheese is often eaten in small chunks, savored slowly, not grated into oblivion. And when paired with a few drops of aged balsamic, it becomes a mineral absorption powerhouse. But don't go thinking you need to fly to Italy for real health benefits, because the next cheese may be sitting at your local farmer's market, and it's raw, rich, and ridiculously powerful. The word raw scares some people off, and when it comes to dairy, it's often misunderstood. But here's what most people don't know. When made correctly, grass-fed raw cheddar isn't just safe. It's one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. This cheddar isn't your supermarket block wrapped in plastic. It's made from unpasteurized milk, aged legally for at least 60 days, long enough to kill harmful bacteria, but short enough to preserve the enzymes and living nutrients that pasteurization destroys. That's what sets it apart. Those enzymes don't just help you digest cheese. They help your body extract every bit of immune-boosting, inflammation-fighting goodness from it. What's more, grass-fed raw cheddar contains up to 500% more CLA than conventional cheddar. CLA is a fatty acid linked to reduced body fat, improved immune response, and even protection against certain cancers. And the omega-3s? Off the charts. That's anti-inflammatory gold for your joints, your brain, and your heart. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. This cheese is also one of the best sources of vitamin K2 in the MK4 form, the most potent kind for protecting your arteries and supporting bone density. And the benefits don't stop there. It's loaded with retinol, the most bioavailable form of vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and beta-carotene, all working together to reinforce your body's defenses. But here's the kicker. Because it's raw, this cheddar contains living probiotics, dozens of bacterial strains that survive digestion and go to work repairing your gut. These good bugs produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which nourish your colon, reduce inflammation, and may even improve mood through the gut-brain connection. To unlock its full power, never melt it above 120 degrees. That kills the magic. Let it sit at room temperature. Pair it with fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, and suddenly you've created a probiotic powerhouse that does more for your health than most supplements ever could. But the most powerful cheese of them all, it's hidden in the Swiss Alps, and it's unlike anything else on this list. If there's one cheese that deserves a permanent place in your fridge after 60, it's authentic Swiss Gruyere. Not the bland, rubbery knockoffs. We're talking about the real stuff, made from raw alpine milk by cows grazing in high mountain meadows. And here's why it matters. The nutrients inside this cheese are so powerful, scientists are still uncovering its full potential. One of Gruyère's secret weapons is propionic acid, produced by special bacteria during the aging process. This unique compound has been shown to reduce inflammation, lower cholesterol, and even protect against certain types of cancer. You won't find that in your average cheddar. But that's just the beginning. Gruyere contains more vitamin B12 than almost any other food, critical for brain function, red blood cell production, and energy. And that's just scratching the surface. What really makes this cheese stand out is its ability to boost your body's production of glutathione, your master antioxidant. Glutathione is what your body uses to detox, fight disease, and repair damage on a cellular level. But as you age, your body makes less of it unless you give it the right fuel. Gruyere provides that fuel in the form of cysteine and glycine, amino acids that trigger natural glutathione production. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. That means one small serving of Gruyere could help your body clean house, removing toxins, boosting immunity, and protecting your cells from long-term damage. And that's not all. This cheese is rich in zinc, selenium, and phosphorus, a mineral trio essential for strong bones, a healthy thyroid, and immune resilience. But what truly sets Gruyere apart is its protein efficiency. The minimum 12-month aging process breaks its proteins down into dipeptides and tripeptides that your body can absorb immediately. No heavy digestion required. For older adults, that's a game changer for preserving muscle mass without stressing your gut. And if you're worried about your blood pressure, don't. Gruyere contains lactotripeptides, natural compounds shown to lower blood pressure naturally, something no other cheese on this list can claim as clearly. Pair it with whole grain bread or melt it gently into warm soups. Just don't. Boil it. That preserves the powerful B vitamins and antioxidant compounds. But now that we've explored the best cheeses for your health, it's time to enter the danger zone. These next 4, you'll want to clear them out of your fridge immediately. You know those individually wrapped cheese slices that melt perfectly in a sandwich? They seem harmless, convenient, comforting even. But what if I told you they're barely cheese at all, and that every bite might be quietly damaging your body from the inside out? Here's the unsettling truth. Many of those processed slices contain less than 50% actual cheese. The rest? A chemical cocktail of emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial colors, and sodium phosphates, ingredients your heart, kidneys, and gut were never designed to handle. Just 2 slices can hit you with 600 millimoles of sodium, more than a quarter of your daily limit. And that's if you only eat 2. But it's not just the salt you need to worry about. Sodium phosphate, used to give processed cheese its meltiness, is far more damaging than table salt. It's been linked to accelerated aging, kidney strain, and cardiovascular damage, especially in adults over 60. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. And that bright yellow color? It's not from the milk. It's from synthetic dyes like Yellow 5 and Yellow 6, both of which have been linked to hyperactivity, allergic reactions, and even carcinogenic effects in long-term studies. Then there are the emulsifiers, like polysorbate 80 and carboxymethyl cellulose, which have been shown to disrupt your gut microbiome and cause leaky gut, a condition tied to everything from inflammation to autoimmune disorders. Worse yet, the high heat and chemical processing destroys any of the cheese's original nutrients, leaving you with a product that's nutritionally hollow but calorically dense. And even if the label says 0 grams of trans fat, don't believe it. Regulations allow anything under 0.5 grams per serving to be rounded down, which means you could still be eating dangerous trans fats without knowing it. If you're eating these regularly, especially in sandwiches or burgers, you're not just getting an inferior product, you're consuming something designed for profit, not health. But if you think plastic-wrapped slices are the worst offender, wait until you hear about the cheese that doesn't even need refrigeration and what it might be doing to your hormones. If a food can sit on a shelf for months, maybe even years, without refrigeration, it should raise a red flag. And jarred cheese spreads? They're waving the biggest one. These spreads are cheese in name only. In reality, they're a mix of modified starches, hydrogenated oils, synthetic flavoring, and enough sodium to make your blood pressure spike just from reading the label. Most of the time, actual dairy is one of the last ingredients listed. The worst part? Many of them contain partially hydrogenated oils, a direct source of trans fats, which are so dangerous they've been banned in several countries. And even in spreads that claim to be trans fat-free, manufacturers often sneak in intrasterified fats, modified fats that early research suggests may be just as harmful, especially to the heart and liver. Stay with me because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life, and it gets worse. These spreads are often sodium bombs, delivering over 500 milligrams in just 2 teaspoons. And let's be honest, who only eats 2 teaspoons? The salt isn't even the biggest concern. Hidden within are chemical preservatives, artificial flavors, and flavor enhancers like MSG, often disguised as yeast extract or natural flavoring, which can trigger everything from headaches and heart palpitations to anxiety in sensitive people. But here's the real horror story. Phthalates. These hormone-disrupting chemicals leach from the plastic packaging into the cheese, and once they're in your body, they start interfering with your endocrine system. That means your metabolism, reproductive health, and hormone balance can all get thrown off, from something as simple as a cheesy spread on a cracker. Studies have linked regular consumption of these ultra-processed cheeses to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and even certain cancers. And yet, because they're cheap, easy, and familiar, millions of people keep buying them, unaware that they're essentially scooping out a chemical cocktail with every bite. But believe it or not, there's an even sneakier offender in your fridge. A cheese that's marketed as natural, yet might be silently wrecking your gut and brain. Tea looks innocent enough, a convenient bag of shredded cheese, ready to sprinkle on anything. But what most people don't realize is that pre-shredded cheese might be one of the most deceptive items in your entire fridge. Why? Because to keep those shreds from clumping, manufacturers coat them in anti-caking agents like cellulose, yes, that's wood pulp, and potato starch. These additives make up to 4% of the product's weight, and while they're technically safe, they're also completely indigestible. That means they pass through your system doing nothing, or worse, irritating your gut if you're sensitive. But the real issue isn't just what's added, it's what's lost. Pre-shredded cheese oxidizes faster than block cheese. The moment it's shredded, it starts to break down. Nutrients degrade, fats go rancid, and harmful compounds begin forming. By the time it hits your plate, it's already a shell of its former nutritional self. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. And then there's natamycin, a common antifungal preservative added to prevent mold. What most people don't realize is that natamycin is also an antibiotic. When you eat it regularly, it doesn't just kill mold. It can mess with your gut microbiome, wiping out beneficial bacteria and opening the door for digestive problems, immune dysfunction, and even mental health struggles linked to gut health. And let's not forget, these cheeses often come from lower quality milk, sourced from animals treated with growth hormones and antibiotics. Combine that with the increased surface area and you've got a product that's more prone to contamination. And there have been several major recalls for Listeria and E. coli found in pre-shredded cheese. Even worse, histamines, pre-shredded. Cheeses typically have higher histamine levels due to their extended processing and storage. And if you're histamine sensitive, even without knowing it, you might experience headaches, skin rashes, anxiety, digestive issues, or brain fog every time you sprinkle this cheese on your meal. So while it might seem like a convenient time saver, pre-shredded cheese is often more expensive, less nutritious, chemically treated, and potentially harmful, especially if it's a daily staple. But none of that compares to what's coming next. A cheese made with actual mold that some people treat like a delicacy, even though it could be the most dangerous one of all. It's bold, it's fancy, it's often crumbled onto salads or melted into sauces in high-end restaurants. But behind the gourmet label, blue cheese might be the riskiest cheese you can eat, especially as you age. That signature blue-green marbling. It comes from a mold called Penicillium roqueforti, the same mold that gives blue cheese its sharp flavor and its dark side. Let's start with tyramine, a naturally occurring compound in blue cheese that can severely spike blood pressure and trigger intense migraines in sensitive individuals. If you're taking MAO inhibitors for depression or Parkinson's, even a small amount of blue cheese could cause a hypertensive crisis, the kind that sends you straight to the ER. But even for healthy people, blue cheese is no free pass. The mold inside produces compounds called mycotoxins, substances that, in small doses, are considered safe. But if you're eating blue cheese regularly, those toxins can accumulate in your body. Over time, they've been linked to joint pain, brain fog, digestive distress, and even chronic fatigue. Symptoms many people never trace back to their favorite fancy cheese. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. Blue cheese also tops the charts in histamine content, up to 10 times more than most other cheeses. For the estimated 1 to 3% of people with histamine intolerance, it can trigger everything from anxiety and insomnia to skin rashes, headaches, and panic attacks, and they may never suspect the culprit. And that strong flavor? It's a double-edged sword. It masks spoilage, which means you might not even realize when blue cheese has gone bad, increasing the risk of serious food poisoning. Add to that a sodium load of 400 milliliters plus per ounce, and a saturated fat profile high in palmitic acid, one of the most inflammatory types. And suddenly this cheese is less of a gourmet delicacy and more of a metabolic landmine. Yes, it's rich, it's trendy, and it feels luxurious. But behind the marketing, blue cheese is a risky bet, especially for older adults whose bodies are less forgiving. So now that you've seen both sides of the cheese aisle, what does all of this mean for your plate, your health, and your future? Now you know. Not all cheese is created equal. Some are quiet protectors, delivering nutrients that strengthen your bones, protect your heart, and even lift your mood. Others? They're silent saboteurs, hiding behind shiny packaging while quietly chipping away at your health from the inside out. If you're over 60, the difference between a vibrant, independent life and a slow, preventable decline could be as simple as what's on your cheese plate. Because here's the truth. You don't have to give up cheese. You just have to get smarter about the kind you choose. Aged Gouda, real Parmigiano Reggiano, grass-fed raw cheddar, authentic Swiss Gruyere. These are not just delicious. They're tools for longevity, strength, and vitality. But the others, the plastic-wrapped slices, the jarred spreads, the shredded shortcuts, and the moldy blue, they may be costing you more than you realize. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may change how you see cheese for the rest of your life. The science is clear. The evidence is undeniable. And now, you know. So the next time you're standing in the cheese aisle, you'll see more than labels and flavors. You'll see a choice, one that could shape the rest of your life. So tell us below. What's the one cheese you could never give up, even after hearing all of this? Have you ever noticed a difference in your health after eating certain cheeses? We read every single comment, and your story might help someone else make a smarter choice. If this opened your eyes, give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe, because this is just the beginning of taking your health into your own hands. Remember, every bite is a choice. Make it count.